Hello, I'm Kate Malinowski, poet and author. Just because I'm going to put this as public. And also, other than that, I am also one of the hosts of the Terra Nouveau Lyceum, which is where this is going to be posted as well. I'm doing an Ostara reading, otherwise known as the spring equinox for the northern hemisphere, and fall for Southern. I'm looking, I have to look at it. Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards. And Yasmin Boland is the author, and the artwork is by Lori Mena. So I'm gonna try to get that to you. It sparkles a little bit, so it's hard sometimes to get that. Now I drew a heck of a lot of cards, slash they sort of just fell out. And like I took them. So we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna go slowly along. And since this is your star reading slash whatever you believe in for the spring as a season, it's probably gonna go. I would say this is for the entire year up until this time again. If you really want to like dice it down, I would say Samhain. I would say probably Halloween if you feel it. I mean, this is a general reading and you will know for you. Okay. So this is our first card. We are doing it by the different phases of the moon, not the order that I drew them because it didn't make as much sense. It was back and forth, back and forth. And that's fine for like the year. It's not fine for a reading by Kim. All right, so this is think it through. So plan ahead is sort of my interpretation of it. It says, Newman and Gemini, a positive outcome lies ahead. However, to take this opportunity from the ethers and make it real, you need a positive mindset. On some level, you already know how to get what you want. Think it through, use your smarts, look for signposts about what to do next. What am I expecting? Okay, so like, what am I expecting is a great one. And so is what do I want? What do I need? What do I need my project, my partner, whatever to do? Is it feasible? Is it something that I just have to wait for? Is it something that I just have to, coax along? You never know. Like some things like take years and years and years, just like manifest it all. And that doesn't make them bad. Sometimes careers take time. Sometimes relationships take a very long time. It just happens. This manifesting focus is this card is especially good sign for Matt. You're just relating to a flirtatious situation. There you go. That was what Kim was saying. Anything written, also what was Kim saying. Kim's poetry and her writing is going to go far, and she's going to get the Nobel, but maybe not this year. And an upset you've had of a relationship that feels blocked. So maybe there is a makeup. Maybe there is just you sort of shove it off and you keep going forward and you don't worry about it anymore. And this is what they call the manifesting mindset. Expressing whatever is on your mind is always a good idea. But this card also suggests you need to do some inner work and trust your intuition. I guess I agree with it. I feel like words matter. So like it's saying like you need to express, say yourself, but like yes, but express yourself, but do so like in a loving way, I guess I would say. And express yourself in a way that if your words come true, you want them. I don't always believe that we cannot say bad words because it might come true. I'm a writer. I deal with possibilities and maybes because I mean, like, that's how writing is. It's what I write. You never know what's coming up next. It's life. Um, so I'm not going to be one of those people like, watch what you say. It might come true. And the answer is it might, possibly, right? That's Kim's word, right? But like, but if you say something to someone, they're going to take it in. And whether you're manifesting or not, um, they might be manifesting as well. And there could be like, they could be releasing you. So just as you decide what you want and manifest and go forth and begin, that's just what we're doing is we're beginning at the year. Just watch what you say to who you say. That's what I'm gonna put it out there. Write it down first, especially if it's cantankerous. Uh, if you're yelling stop yelling, say, I need a moment to calm down. Think about what you really need and want and why you're having, it's not necessarily always anger. Sometimes it's just frustration. And then you go back and say, I was frustrated because of this. And then you have that, resolution and of a new beginning. So like that's what I get from that. They can like yell at me. I don't care. So some manifesting you can do. Call to the energy planet of Mercury, which guides Gemini. Close your eyes and meditate on your desire for at least 5 minutes. What comes up, write it down. Your manifestation affirmation. Knowledge is powerful, and I am powerful. That is the same sort of concept of I am God, God is me sort of thing going on. Yeah. I never showed you the back of the card, and I get spacey. What can I say? I think it's beautiful, and I keep looking at the back of the card. It's over here and it's over here. I'm like, oh, you need to know. You need to see it now. It's the proper time for you to see it. All right, this is a new moon in Capricorn. And for those of you that have seen my long reading that was done March 18th, you're going to know about leading, and it sort of it pops back up. So if you're in TNL and you're reading, you're listening, it's back. All right, step up and lead. We're beginning to step up and lead. We're taking our power. We are going forth. My friend is like, you're so self-effacing. And I'm like, being humble isn't self-effacing. But I realize I do some discredit to myself, and I do, sort of like consider myself humiliated instead of humble at times. So this is step up and lead. We can be humble, we can be within our power, we can be friends, we can still, lead. The good news is that you know what you want, and on some level, you know how to get it. Step up and know you're the boss of your own life. A disciplined plan is needed. Strategy is called for. Ambition isn't a dirty word. And whatever you want to create your life, basically says do it. There is no too big of goal. I agree with this. There is no too big of goal. But there's also not too small of one. We have little goals every day. Some days I'm like, I would like to be up by 8. Some days I'm like, I'd like to be up. Little goals, okay, are just as powerful as big goals. And like, yes, you can have like a magnificent goal. I'm gonna win the Nobel. I am. Watch me. But it doesn't happen overnight. Okay. I've already been in the business for 20 years. 5 years of that, I could not read or write. I relearn how to, so things take time, things interject. But you can have your big goal. But remember the small ones, I'm getting up out of bed today, are just as important. And that's not what this is saying, but that's what Kim is saying, okay? Listen to Kim. This card is especially good for sign for matters related to your professional life goals and ambitions, or work colleague. For manifesting, think about where you want to be in a year. Consider it, write a 12-month plan detailing how you're going to get it. And that works really well with the fact that we are pretty much doing a year spread. And even if you are saying, no, it's only half a year to yourself inside or after this, then that's fine. But the same thing applies. Plan it out. Like, I'm either 6 months ahead or 6 months behind because I'm a writer. So when somebody says do something for summer and it is summer, that means I am like a year behind or at least 6 months behind. So, okay. So I have a very different idea of time. So take that as it resonates, because like, if you're like, no, this is clearly not a, Kim space-time continuum, know yourself. Okay. So begin. Be a leader now, be a leader later. Set your intentions, go for it, plan. If you have to just plan your day, that's fine as well. It doesn't have to be your year just because a book says or Kim says, it's a year. I'm sorry, I just like totally bumped this. Okay, now those were the new moons. Those deal with a lot of manifestation, awesomeness, getting ready to start and starting. So now we're in the first quarter moon of Gemini. Speak your world into being. Now we are doing. We have stopped just the planning. Okay. Now we're doing actual steps. Think about what you want again. We're thinking about what we want. Do you really believe you can create it? Do you believe you have what it takes to do? Or do you secretly doubt yourself? Worse, are you quietly preparing for failure? Here's the thing you can't fool the universe. Repeated affirmations that you don't believe are a waste of time. Leaving your magic. If someone has spoken or written kind words to you, counter them with kind words to yourself. Try it, speak your world into being, talk about it, those already happening. I'm having a moment because sometimes positive affirmations can work, and they were just mentioned. And I guess, yes, if you don't believe them, how can they possibly work? You sort of have to be a blank slate and then go from there. So that's not what they're saying, but Kim speaks from experience. And turning that voice around is really difficult. And I'm not saying you can't do it and you shouldn't do it. You should if you can. But if you can't, which sometimes Kim can't, Kim's had some stuff, right? When that voice comes, you have to sort of just say, just go away for a little bit. Go away for a little bit longer. Go away a little bit longer. You can't just always banish it. And sometimes it's not meant to be banished. This is not like it could be considered a life thing. But for a writer thing, I was taught by the Writers Studio for about 7 years. And they call what sits on your shoulder this nagging, the shitbird. And when I tell my students and my friends and everything, I'm like, you're talking with a shitbird. They're like, what? But it's true. That it's telling you stuff. It's shitting on you. It's like, you're so bad, you're so bad, you're so bad, you're so bad. And I found that is in real life as well. Okay. So I don't shoot it. Some people are like, well, I just shoot it. And blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, you can say that that doesn't exist anymore, then fine. You have absolutely no writer's doubt. Good job. No doubt in life. Good job. But I find that it actually has like an importance. So the shitbird sucks, right? But I give it a cracker and I have it leave for a while. And I feel really good about myself. And I'm like, yeah, noble, blah, 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 right? But then I'm a little high horsey. And like, do I really want to teach that person? Or like, like I don't make any money. Do I really want to? I'm like, I'm just too good for this. And then sometimes that shipper needs to come back and be like, you really do suck. You're not blah, blah, blah. You're not this person, blah, blah, blah. And like, yes, it sucks, but like, yes, sometimes humility is a thing and sometimes it's necessary. So you can speak your world into being, and you can say that. I don't like it when people say that if you like say something or you think something and then they don't necessarily match, it won't come true, it won't manifest. Now I listen to a lot of that. There's a lot of new age, there's a lot of I'm not going to name them, but like a lot of like podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff that yes, okay, they believe it. If you believe it, fine, great. But sometimes it's baby steps. Maybe you just have to say, my hair isn't that bad. I think I just had it up, so now I'm like, ugh, you know. Then like that's your little shipper, right? Fluff it, looks good, you know. So it's small things that lead to this. So you can have all the self love you want, and you can still have a shipper on you, okay? And vice versa. Be a little like Debbie Downer and still have, love, love or whatever. So you're being asked to feel your way through a situation that's partly sacred and partly mundane. Be compassionate and clever. Ask your soul to speak to you. Listen to your heart and not your mind. Write your lists and goals. Those are all good things. But just remember that you don't have to have lofty goals, or you can have little ones leading up to big ones. This is just us beginning, starting, doing the steps. The planning was before. And if you have the shipbird on you, it does not mean that things are not going to manifest and turn around for yourself. I don't believe it. I believe you give your shipbird a cracker. So go get a cracker or a cookie and put it up there and say, go away. Guarantee it's going to work eventually. All right, now we also have the first quarter moon in Pisces. So this is also another beginnings of the manifestations. Honor your feelings. And of course, it's Pisces. So I'm a Pisces. If you can't tell, we're all emotion, all water. Are you putting on a good front, acting like you're bright and breezy, but hiding your real feelings? Rather than acting as though everything is fine, if you're worried about a certain issue, it's best to deal with them. Avoid getting so wrapped up in your feelings that you overwhelm yourself and everyone else involved in the situation. If you deny your feelings, you'll go nowhere fast with your manifesting. Look at the big picture and use your intuition. Avoid blowing an upset out of proportion. This is sort of just the opposite, where it was, like, okay, so this is like the opposite situation, right? Of the one that we just talked about. So this is putting on a false front versus putting on like false words and then like, or what, like what you think are good words and then feeling about it. And these are like what are good feelings. And then, so like, I guess it's not technically an opposite, but like they're definitely related. They're like the same card except for emotions versus speech slash writing. So, okay. So, with the honor your feelings, I guess it's sort of like going around because like there's a lot of tea that could be spoken in the new age community about feelings and whether they're good or bad or if you're not allowed to have them or they always have to be positive, don't they? So this is actually going sort of against a lot of the new age spirituality that's going around. I don't want to call it a fad because it's been around a long time. And in certain circles that I hang with, I just sort of go, okay, and I don't participate in that sort of thing. You're allowed to feel bad. You're allowed to feel sorry for yourself. You're allowed to be depressed. You're allowed to be bipolar. You're allowed to have any choice you want to resolute, or, you can resolve it or not resolve it. When you bring others into it, it's a little bit more wishy-washy in terms of whatever. You're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to tell people about that bad day. And like, if you have to put on what they're really considering a false front, and like, just don't fool yourself, you know, and be honest with yourself. Be honest with your therapist. And if you're going to work, I'm sorry. If I go to my class and I'm like, oh, it's been such a bad day, they might be able to tell it's a bad day, but I don't say that I've had a bad day. I may be a little shakier, I may be a little everything. And yes, I sort of like, like I'll say, it's been a trying day, but you're not like gooey to the wrong people. So you're allowed to have your emotions. Just I guess like make sure you show them to the right people. Don't show your kids too much, just as you wouldn't like, tell your boss too much. Like, there's different levels, right? We tell people various things and we show people various things, and that's okay. The real thing is don't trick yourself and don't like give away your truth as well. Like, you can be upset, I guess is what I'm saying. I can be upset at something. I can like, type it up and be like, it's so awful. These people are so mean to me. And then I have to reflect if I want to press enter onto Facebook or if I don't. Because like I had like 1,500 people after, I'm not gonna say who, people close to me. And I was like, yes, I'm upset, but I wasn't upset enough to like bring out the posse. So there are real world consequences and I didn't know it. That's a fault of mine, which is why I should have, like, I was truthful, but I was not truthful to the right people. Okay, that's what all I'm saying. Um, it says to tune in your manifestation powers. It's talking about the crown chakra, located at the top of your head. It is the color violet, sometimes silver or white, depending on who you talk about in Reiki, just so you're aware. Okay, if you hear stuff, it connects you with source, or the divine, whatever you want to call it, and it helps you to find direction of when you need it. Oh, this is interesting. I will read this. Imagine bathing in a column of radiant violet light and just breathe. Hold this card to your crown and let the call its energies, this incantation. Energies of the first quarter moon in Pisces, thank you for showing me that I am divine. So this is the second one that is like standing in power and being divinity and being sort of your own warrior in some senses. All right, now we're into the full moons. We're getting there, guys. We have, looks like 2 more cards. This card and another. This is full moon in Taurus. You need to detox to restore equilibrium to your situation. Perhaps you've been obsessing and have fallen into a negative headspace. Whatever the case, you need to release any dramas, possessiveness, and stubbornness to free up everything. Digging your heels in won't help, and neither will allowing yourself to be mean. It could be a spiritual, emotional, or physical detox that's called for. Find a balance between what your heart wants and the practical next step to take. Now, after all that backspeak about what is allowed and what we should and should not express, it sounds like a bit of stuckness where we have done either too much or not enough. It doesn't say not enough, but like you can have it either way to be stuck, So it's a time of reflection and then another go forward with your plan of action. You're noticing that there's all these plan and then go forth and then plan and then go forth. And that is how you get ahead. I mean, like really great warriors or just wars, generals, if a battle isn't going right, they change their mind. They decide, oh, that doesn't work. That's not working. Let's do this, let's do this. And eventually, so they win. In my generalization of like the entire human history of battle, usually there's like a strategy that winds up winning when others don't. And that's because of, this like back and forth motion of testing the waters, seeing what works, and then rethinking and planning. And it's a process. Sometimes it takes seconds and sometimes it takes years. It says manifesting mindset. Your challenge now is to balance yourself emotionally. This might not be easy, but it'll boost your manifesting ability far more than if you're over emotional and therefore out of alignment. Manifesting ritual for cleansing. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Call in Hathor, the goddess of love and joy, among other things. Feel Hathor empowering you to clear away negativity and fill yourself with self-love and love of others. The manifestation is I express love and love comes back to me. And that's never a bad sort of idea. This I express love and love come back to me. That could be even what we start with. This is the idea of almost like paying forward, only spiritually, right? I am habitually giving away money. Not in a bad way. I don't think. Some people judge me. But if somebody is on the corner, I give them whatever bill comes out, really. I'm like, oh, you know, I never know when I'm going to be in that position. I don't. I'm a writer, right? So I I give, and I hope that someday somebody will give to me when I'm in that position. Now, I don't know if that's really how the universe works. But that's how Kim works, and that's how Kim views the world. Maybe it's very Piscean, maybe it's very just Kimish, but I believe that if we give love, we will receive love just like that. And the same thing is with small, kind acts. Small acts matter is one of the things that come up over and over as a theme in my poetry and in my prose. Small acts lead to big things. And that is what I stand for and believe. So therefore it's that love, right? So start with this card. Just go for it. Be love. But then plan and then go. All right, our last card. It's the last card of Moon in Pisces. Ah, talk less, feel more. Kim can talk less now. The danger in your current situation is that you're going to be really good at starting things and less good at finishing them. Okay, this is for Kim. This card suggests that you need to talk less and feel more. So rather than telling people what you want now, feel your feelings about what you want. What comes up? Do you believe in yourself or not? Perhaps you started strong, but you're running out of steam. If so, go within and ask yourself, how committed are you to your goals? Remember that it's okay to change your mind. I like that they said that. It's okay to change your mind. It is. But if it's really something that you want and you're going to regret not getting it and you can't get it later, then perhaps you need to reset and talk to somebody and really go through it. Now, like I'm gonna have a failed PhD. No, it was not right for me. Do I regret it? Yes. Do I regret not getting my archaeology degree? Yes. There's a lot of things that I gave up for the wrong reasons. But some things come back. I'm back into archaeology, therefore, I'm not getting a PhD in literature. I do not. Mad props to everyone who does. I'm not saying it's not to do. It is not for Kim to do. I have a hard time even reading, and most people don't know it because they're like, "What do you mean you have aphasia?" I have aphasia, and they're like, "But you write so well," and I'm like, "Yes, I don't make the rules." That's sort of like what manifesting is. You don't make the rules. It just happens. Whatever happens, happens. I manifested being able to read and write again. I didn't learn how to read and write the same way that I'd be able to get a literature degree, but I learned how to read and write enough that I can relearn, have my neurons remaster themselves and go back into archaeology. Yeah, take that one in. It's an interesting bit, but that's like what manifesting is. We don't get everything. And not all in the way we think that we're gonna get. So don't give up unless you have to. Like if it is not you and you're like, this is not me anymore, that's different. Then this is not me anymore because of this person, because I am angry. Well, maybe that's a pause. Maybe that's a go somewhere else. Maybe that's a, you know. So just, I'm just saying, like, think it through. What are you going to regret? What are you going to regret in a day? And what are you going to regret in 10 years? I'm no longer really regretting the PhD, and I used to sob about it all the time. And now I do regret the PhD in archaeology because I told everybody I wasn't going to do it. And the reason was because some men were kind of mean to me in the field. I didn't want them to be my professors. I didn't want to work with them. And I admit that I do say now that I just said that I'd wait 20 years to see if they were dead or retired. I did. So I put it on hold. But do I still regret it? Yeah. Yeah, now I do. Damn it. I didn't before. So think about it. As you go through, if you go back and volunteer, are you going to be upset that somebody younger than you is telling you what to do in a field that you think you know what you're doing in? If the answer is no, then you're fine. If your answer is Kim should have gotten a PhD in archaeology, but I'm learning. All right. But that is like a very personal anecdote, but it's true. One of the current energies is all about feelings, and the other is in its head. Where are you? Can you meld the two? That's the way. See, that's like the PhD and archaeology. Now, all right, it says, why ruin the moment with words? Sometimes feelings are enough. It's good to talk, but it's also good to just be. That's chill and that's fine, but sometimes you have to talk. And I talk a lot about like talk to your therapist because I do. And then I talk to people that are like my therapist, and I feel really kind of guilty sometimes. And then they talk to me like that too. So then I don't. So, there you have it. It's a positive back and forth. Your manifestation affirmation. I feel all my feelings and it feels good. I'll go with that. But I would say that of the entire year, the whole manifestation pattern that we just did, it really comes to small acts matter because we got small acts, self-kindness. If you cannot self-love, which I have a problem with that name and that feeling and the idea, and I just jerk back and I can't do it, right? It's not the doing, it's the trigger word, okay? So don't use the trigger words. If you can't deal with the word affirmation, or you've heard too many things like of these positive words that you can't do, release them. They're part of your shipboard, even though they're quote unquote a positive word, okay? Just relax into yourself and feel it, okay? I don't self love, but I have self kindness. I have self respect. I am in my power. I'm a leader. I go forward. I plan. I've planned my year. I am planning my year. We're making those small strategies as we go, and then we manifest and we get our goal, whatever we want. If we decide to change course halfway, good. If it's proper, good. If you have to, of course, take a break. You never know what's going to happen in 10 years. You might keep going. Nothing is forever, even if they say that. So just take that into account. I hope you have a wonderful Ostara, a wonderful spring, and I wish you the best and an entire wonderful year. Take care, guys. So it is.